morning, students. Welcome back to our English class. And what we were doing discovering Tut. The saga continues. And I am, I was explaining you the chapter. Now, children, let us first, focus on what we had studied. Who had written the chapter? A.R. Williams. Okay. And moreover, this chapter is regarding the last heir of the great pharaoh dynasty, right? He died in his teenager after ruling for how many years? So, how many years did he rule? 9 years. His death gave birth to the mystery. This chapter talks about all possible mysteries, the curse, where his tomb is lying, his whole life, and finally his death. Now, discovering Tut, the saga continues. Summary will be given to you all the facts and information about the death of Tut. Okay. Now, Tutankhamun, that is the name, है ना? Tutankhamun or Tutankhamun was the last leader of the great pharaoh dynasty. He was young when he died. According to some people, his death was a murder. In the year 1922, his tomb was exposed by Howard Carter, an archaeologist. और तुम्हें पता है उसने क्या करा? उसने एक चेसल यूज करा था, क्योंकि उसके बॉडी को कैसे, चेसल क्या होता है? इट्स इन शेप लाइक दिस, तो यहाँ पर बहुत ज़्यादा शार्प होता है, राइट? नाउ यू नो दैट ही चेसल्ड बिकॉज उसकी जो ममिफिकेशन कर दी थी बॉडी, इट वॉज रैप्ड ऑन इन ऑल डैमेजेस एंड स्टक विद द रेजन, है ना? द रेजन इज द गमी सब्सटेंस, राइट? सो दिस वॉज द प्रॉब्लम. तो उन्होंने क्या करा, पूरा उसको निकाला और उसकी बॉडी सैंड पे रखी, पीसेस जो टूट गए थे, ठीक है, जो हड्डियाँ टूट गई थी उनको जुड़ाया और फिर वापस रख दिया. तो इससे क्या हुआ, बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम भी आ सकती है, राइट? नाउ लेट अस कंटिन्यू. एंड वेयर वर वी वर फ्रॉम दिस एरिया. ओके. नाउ आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट हैज चेंज्ड substantially in the intervening. What does intervening means? Occur in the time between events, right? Decades, focusing less on the treasure and more on fascinating details of intervening. What is intervening again? To arouse one's curiosity, mystery of death, right? What was now more fascinating? It was not about the what do you call it? It was not about the gold that was to be discovered. It was more about the mystery how Tutankhamun or Tutankhamun died. It also uses more sophisticated tools, advanced. Where is sophisticated, children? Where can you see sophisticated? Here. Can you see? It is more advanced tools, including medical technology, right? In 1968, more than 40 years after Carter's discovery, an anatomy professor, children, that is not x-rayed the mummy and revealed a startling, unexpected. See here, what is startling? Which is unexpected, children, which is very surprisingly, okay, fact. Beneath the reason that cakes his chest bone and front ribs were missing. So what did he say? That unki kuch breast bones missing thi. So breast bones, can you see? What is it actually? I'll show you, children. Here, see, here we have like this, na? The chest is like this, and we have heart out like. So these bones were actually missing. Obviously, that could be done, right? Now, reason and his breastbone and front ribs were missing. Today, diagnostic imaging can be done with computed tomography, okay, or a CT, of which hundreds of X-rays in cross sections are put together like slices of bread to create a three-dimensional virtual body. Now, virtual body which we can see, we can understand, right? And virtual body is like Web3. You know what is Web3? Where we have three dimensionals. You can read, you can write, and you can see things virtually in the sphere of whole. What more would a CT scan reveal of Tut than the X-ray? And could it answer two of the biggest questions still lingering about him? How did he die? and how old was he at the time of his death. तो क्या ये टोमोग्राफी एक्सरे करने के बाद, ठीक है, हमें ये पता चल जाता है कि वो कैसे मर रहे थे और क्या एज में वो मरे थे, ठीक है. What was it, how old was he and what time. Now, King Tut's demise means death, was a big event. Even by royal standard, he was the last of his family's line, ठीक है, वो last pharaoh था, ठीक है. And his funeral was the death rattle here, the indication of uh, dynasty, last dynasty, rattle of a dynasty. Rattle is here, see, rattle का मतलब होता है it is an indication of the last dynasty. But the particulars of his passing away and its aftermath are unclear. Aftermath, but the particulars जो उसके बाद थे, ठीक है, they are aftermath means after him are unclear, ठीक है. Now Amenhotep III, टुट्स फादर और ग्रैंडफादर, देखो क्लैरिटी नहीं है. अब हम जो पढ़ेंगे हम टुट की फैमिली के बारे में पढ़ेंगे इस पैराग्राफ में. तो टुट के ग्रैंडफादर या फादर का नाम क्या था, Amenhotep, ठीक है, was a powerful pharaoh. He was a powerful king who ruled for almost 4 decades. Now we talk about 4 decades. 4 decades means 40 years, right? 1 decade is for 10 years. So for 40 years at the height of the 18 dynasty golden age. His son Amenhotep IV succeeded him and initiated one of the strangest periods in the history. Okay, so he's talking about like this is one of the when after who died Amenhotep IV took over. This is called the strangest period in ancient Egypt. The new pharaoh promoted the worship of Aten, the sun disk. I told you na कि they used to praise two gods. Children, they used to praise two gods. So Aten, sorry, we'll talk about Aten. Aten is this disk. ठीक है, एक तो पूरा सन की प्रेज करना, ठीक है, एक सिर्फ डिस्क को, बाहर के लाइनिंग को वो करना, वर्शिप करना. चेंज हिज नेम टू अखिनटेन और सर्वेंट ऑफ द आतेन, ठीक है. देन ही चेंज्ड हिज नेम टू अखिनटेन और सर्वेंट ऑफ द आतेन, राइट. And moved the religious capital from the city of Thebes to the new city of Akhintenen, known as Amarna, right? What it is known as Amarna. Now let us go back. Okay, where we will go back? We will go back to the what do you call it, map, right? So we will see, right? Now where was his old capital? It was near this, children. It was near Luxor. Okay, where was his old capital? It was near Luxor. Okay, who's Akhinton. Okay, and where did he move? He moved to the new capital. This was the old capital, right? And now here we moved to new capital. Are you clear with it? Right? Are you clear, children? Yes, right. Now let us move on to our chapter again, right? Now I've showed you where Amarna is, okay, where Amarna is. He further shocked the country by attacking Amun, a major god, smashing his images and closing his temples. तो सबसे शॉकिंग क्या चीज़ था कि जो किंग था उन्होंने क्या करा, वो डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिए जो ओल्ड थे. आमुन थे जो प्रेज ऑफ गॉड इन एयर करता था, तो उनके जो टेम्पल्स थे, जो इमेजेस थे, उसको सारा डिस्ट्रॉय कर दिया. ही मस्ट हैव बीन इट मस्ट हैव बीन अ हॉरिफिक टाइम. तो वो बोल रहा है इट मस्ट हैज बीन अ हॉरिफिक टाइम, राइट. It says Ray Johnson, director of the University of Chicago Research Center in Luxor, the site of ancient Thebes. The family that ruled for the centuries was coming to an end, and Akhintenen went wacky. Wacky means amusing or slightly old, right? Wacky means, here we have wacky, right? Which is very amusing or slightly old. Okay, children. Now let us move to the next paragraph. After Akhenaten's death, after Akhenaten's death, that means जिन्होंने सारी चीजें destroy करी थी, ठीक है, a mysterious ruler named Siman Kara appeared briefly and exited with hardly a trace. And then वो आए बट बहुत शॉर्ट लिव्ड था उनका आना, और पता नहीं कहाँ से आए वो किंग. और फिर उसके बाद कौन आए? आर यंग टुटिन खातिन took the throne, King Tut, as he widely known today, right? The boy king soon changed his name to Tutankhamun, living image of Amun. Amun, who's the Amun, he is the sun, god of sun and air, right? And oversaw a restoration of the old ways. Restoration, when we revive the old ways, okay? He reigned for about 9 years. Ruled. Where is reigned? He reigned for about 9 years means he ruled for 9 years. Okay? He ruled for about 9 years and then died unexpectedly. And then after that he died unexpectedly, which is not known. Right? Next paragraph. Regardless of his fame and speculations, fame is famous and speculation about his fate, Tut is one mummy among many in Egypt. How many? No one knows. अब बोल रहे कि पता वो इतना फेमस हो गए थे कि वो मरे कैसे, बट उनके साथ साथ बहुत सारी मम्मियाँ थी. कितने थी वो किसी को नहीं पता. The Egyptian Mummy Project, which began an inventory in late 2003, inventory is a list, was recorded almost 600 so far and is still counting. The next phase, scanning the mummies with the scan portable city machine donated by the National Geographic Society and cements its manufacturer. King Tut is one of the first mummies to be scanned in death as in life, moving regally ahead of the countrymen, regally above all men, right? Now Tut was the first mummy to be scanned. A city machine scanned the mummy head to toe, creating 1,700 digital X-ray images in cross section. Tut's head scanned in 0.62 millimeter slices to register its intricate structure, right? Takes on airy details. Airy, very strange, जो भूतिया भी बोल सकते हैं हम इसको. Very strange details, right? In the resulting image. With Tut's entire body similar, recorded a team of specialists in radiology, right? Where are we here? Forensic and anatomy began to probe, ठीक है, the secrets and the winged goddesses of a glided burial shrine protected for so long, ठीक है. They are saying that these it was believed that these mummies are being saved by winged god, ठीक है, or some kind of power, ठीक है. जब भी वो मरे हुए रहते तो कौन लोग करते हैं? भगवान या कोई एंजल्स इनको ऊपर से सेव करता रहता है. द नाइट ऑफ द स्कैन, ठीक है, वर्कमैन कैरी टुट फ्रॉम द टूम इन हिज बॉक्स, ठीक है. लाइक pallor bearers. Who are pallor bearers? A person who helps to escort a coffin at a funeral. बोलते हैं ना, 4 कंधों में लेके जाते हैं. Those are pallor bearers. They climbed a ramp and a flight of stairs into swirling spinning sand outside, then rose on a hydraulic lift into a trailer that held the scanner. 20 minutes later, 2 men emerged, sprinted from an office nearby, and returned with a pair of white plastic fans. The $1 million scanner had quit because of the sand in a cooler fan. Curse on the pharaoh, joked a guard nervously. Now, Children, what was the body? Children, the body had to be lifted. अब देखो कैसे होता था वो, मैं आपको I'll show you. See, there was a, oops, sorry. See, there was what? There was a box like this. ठीक है. Now there was stairs and a machine was kept like this. Now all sand was here. तो ये ज़मीन से है, related है. ठीक है. So यहाँ से पैल बेलरस बॉडी लेके जाते थे, राइट. पैल बेरर्स क्या करते थे, बॉडी लेके जाते थे, उसको यहाँ रख के और फिर वो मशीन में यहाँ पर सिटी स्कैन के लिए आती थी. समझ में आ गया. अब क्या हुआ, जैसी जैसी उन्होंने मशीन ने हवा कूलिंग करने के लिए वो सिटी स्कैन चलाया, तो वहाँ पर क्या हो रही थी, हवा चल रही थी. हवा चलने से सैंड ऊपर उड़ने लगा और फैन ख़राब हो गए. किसके? जो $1,000,000 स्कैन था. अब कर्स ऑफ द pharaoh जोक्ड अ गार्ड नर्वसली. एक बोल रहा है, एक जो गार्ड है वो नर्वसली बोलता है, ठीक है, कि क्या है ये, एक कर्स है, राइट, ऑफ द किंग pharaoh. क्यों? क्योंकि उनकी बॉडी को निकाला गया है, राइट. अब मैं तुम्हें बताना भूल गई थी, मैं बोल रही थी ना, कोई गॉड होता है जो बॉडीज़ को वो करता है, प्रोटेक्ट करता है. द नेम ऑफ द गॉड इज ओरिसिस. ORI, sorry, Osiris. What is the name? Osiris. 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 ठीक है. ये कौन है? ये बॉडी को क्या करते हैं, प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं. ठीक है. नाउ लेट्स मूव. तो गार्ड ने बोला ये तो क्या है, कर्स है. किसका कर्स है चिल्ड्रन? ये कर्स pharaoh किंग का है. ठीक है. Now eventually the substitute farms worked well enough to finish the procedure. Now eventually the substitute fans worked well. जो वो substitute fans लेके आए थे वो ठीक चले. Enough to finish the procedure. After checking that no data had been lost, the technician turned to Tut over to the workmen who carried him back to the tomb. अब क्या करते हैं, उनको उठाते हैं, वापस काम जो हो जाता है वापस रख. Less than 3 hours after he was removed from the coffin, the pharaoh again rested in peace where the funeral priests had laid him so long ago. फिर से उनको वापस डाला जाता है. Back in the trailer, a technician pulled up astonishing, shocking images of Tut on a computer screen. A grey head took shape from this scratching of pixels. Pixels होते हैं ना, single photo, and the technician spun and tilted it in every direction. Neck vertebrate, ठीक है, जो of small bones, क्या होता है, series of small bones होते हैं, right, peered so clearly as in an anatomy class. Other images revealed a hand, several views of the rib cage and a transections of the skull. तो ये सारी चीज़ें उसमें पाई गई. But for now the pressure was off. Sitting back in his chair, Zahi Hawass smiled, visibly relieved that nothing had been gone seriously wrong. वो बोल रहे थे ना कि कार्टर ने उनकी बॉडी तोड़ दी है, मिल नहीं रही है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था. तो जो जाहिर हवस थे, बहुत टाइम से ही डिडंट स्लीप लास्ट नाइट, क्योंकि उसको इतना ज़्यादा टेंशन था, ठीक है, एंड ही वॉज वरिड. बट नाउ आई थिंक आई गो एंड स्लीप. उसने बोला अब मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, जाके आराम कर सकता था, क्योंकि इतनी सारी टेंशनें पाइल्ड अप हुई थी. किस में? जाही हवस में. क्यों? क्योंकि उनको बताया गया था कि कार्टर ने कुछ हड्डियाँ क्या कर दी हैं, खो दी हैं, राइट. क्या कर दी हैं? खो दी हैं, राइट. नाउ चिल्ड्रन, by the time he left the trailer, descending metal stairs to the sandy ground, the wind had stopped. The winter air lay cold and still, life death itself in the valley of the departed. Just above the entrance of the tomb stood Orion, the constellation, तारों से बना हुआ, ठीक है, that the ancient Egyptian knew at the soul of Osiris, the god of the afterlife, watching over the boy king. है ना, मैंने बताया था ओसिरिस क्या करते हैं, इन सारी चीज़ों को प्रोटेक्ट करता था. अब बताऊँ क्या होता है चिल्ड्रन, जो कॉन्स्टिलेशन क्या थे, देखो, अगर मैं बड़े बड़े डॉट्स बनाऊंगी दैट मीन्स दे आर स्टार्स. या तो वो ऐसे बनता है, ठीक है, 1 2 3 एंड देन 3 आउट हियर, तो कितने हो गए 6, राइट, एंड 7 आउट हियर, सो दे आर लाइक दिस। ठीक है, इट इज अ कॉन्स्टिलेशन, राइट, जो तारों का क्या बना है, समूह हो, राइट, 7 देखा होगा, तो दे मेक डिफरेंट डिफरेंट शेप्स व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट। सो बाय द टाइम ही लेफ्ट द ट्रेलर, ठीक है, डिसेंडिंग मेटल स्टार्स, ठीक है, टू द सैंडी ग्राउंड, द विंड हैड स्टॉप्ड। अब क्या करे, जो विंड करी थी, जिसने सिटी स्कैन को क्या कर चुका था, खराब कर चुका था, अब क्या हुआ, वो क्या हो गए, विंड हैड स्टॉप्ड, विंटर एयर ले कोल्ड एंड स्टिल, ठीक है, अब क्या हो, सब कुछ शांत है, लाइक डेथ इटसेल्फ इन दिस वैली टू बी ऑफ द डिपार्टेड, जस्ट अबव द एंट्रेंस ऑफ द टूम्ब स्टूड ओरियन, ओरियन द कॉन्स्टलेशन, समूह होता है जो स्टार्स का होता है, 7 होते हैं वैसे तो, दैट द एंशियंट इजिप्शियन न्यू एज द सोल ऑफ ओसिरिस। अब एंशियंट इजिप्शियन क्या बिलीव करते हैं, किसका सोल है ये, ओसिरिस का सोल है, राइट, द गॉड ऑफ द आफ्टर लाइफ। और ये कौन है, जो कौन है ये बेटा, ये गॉड ऑफ आफ्टर लाइफ है, वॉचिंग ओवर बॉय किंग। तो हमने क्या नहीं ढूंढा कि किंग कैसे मरे, हमें तो यही नहीं पता चला, बस हमें ये पता चला कि उनकी जो बॉडी की हड्डियां थी वो वैसी की ही वैसी थी। थैंक यू चिल्ड्रन, थैंक यू वेरी मच।